One of my favorite Facebook ad types to use when I'm running campaigns for my clients is the lead form ad campaign. Now you might be asking, hey, why lead forms versus traffic? And there are scenarios where both are effective, but a lead form ad is almost guaranteed to generate leads for a business because the ad has a form right in it to collect user information. And most recently, when I've done campaigns for my clients, it's produced amazing results. One of the tricky parts about this Facebook ad type is that when you're creating your instant form, your lead form for that ad, you're presented with 3 options for different types of lead forms. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you the differences between those 3 form types so that you know which one to use, when to use it, and how to get the best results for your business. So let's get into that right now. Hey, if you're new here, my name is Lowell Brown. I'm from Going Social. I run a digital marketing agency in Toronto, Canada, and I help small businesses with digital marketing so that they can level up their business. Now, if you are new, if this is one of your first videos that you're seeing of me, I would love if you could comment below and say, hey, I'm new. I would love to welcome you into this community, and I always look for new members and new subscribers. And remember, if you like this video, please click like and hit subscribe below. But now let's get into the demo. We're going to go into Facebook ad. I'm going to go into an on-screen demo here, and I'm going to show you how to set up a lead form ad really quickly. And we're going to show you about those different types of ad types. So let's get into that right now. All right, we are here in Facebook Ads Manager, and we're gonna start by creating our ad campaign. Now, this is my dummy Facebook ad account, and it's got some old stuff in here, so don't worry about that, but we are going to click on leads. Now, this is the type of ad campaign that you wanna select when you are creating a new lead format. Now, I wanted to jump out quickly and just stop for a second. Now, we're talking about lead form ads, and yes, you can select leads as a goal if you're driving traffic to your website and you want to get a you want to get a lead from a landing page that has a form on it. But in this example, we're talking about those instant forms, those forms that are part of the Facebook ad. If you are looking for demos on how to set up different types of Facebook ad campaigns, I encourage you to check out my Facebook ads playlist on this channel, or you can comment below and ask for Facebook ad demos, and I will send you a couple links to those right in the comments. But let's continue back on the screen demo, and we'll get into this right now. Okay, so we are here. We've selected leads. We're going to click on next. I always go with manual campaigns because I want full control when I'm setting up my campaigns here. So we click on next, and then we're going to open up to the ad campaign setup window. First thing you want to do, of course, is set up your ad campaign name. So we're just going to write lead form demo here. If you are creating an ad for a special interest category, it is imperative. It is super important. It is mandatory that you disclose here. So a lot of my clients are real estate agents. Let's just say we're creating it for housing for real estate. We'll continue on. No. And there. So we've declared that our ad is for, let's say, real estate as this example. Again, if you don't fall under any of these special interest categories, you don't have to enter anything here. In this case, just for an example, I'm showing you that if this was for real estate, we have to select the category of housing. We have to make sure that our country is set here, and then we can continue on. I'm not going to toggle any of these on. Again, my campaign objective is to get leads, so we're going to leave that as is, and then we can go to the campaign ad set level. Now, again, when you're in this area, we want to select where are these conversions going to happen. And in this case, as I mentioned before, we're not driving traffic to a website like a landing page with a lead form. We want what's called an instant form, which means the ad, if someone clicks on the ad, it's going to open up to a form within Facebook's platform. And I'm going to show you how to create that in this video. So we want instant forms. We do not want website. We do not want Messenger. We are not doing an instant form and Messenger. Again, we just want to focus here on instant forms. So we can just say add set example. Always name your ad campaigns, your ads, and your ad sets so that you know what's going on. We will make sure that we have our correct Facebook page selected, and then we can go down, just select, whatever budget you want to choose. In this case, I'll just say I'm going to choose $10. We want to choose an end date. So let's just say we'll run it for a couple weeks. Typically, when I set up campaigns, I have them set for a month, maybe 2 months initially. That's just so that I can give it time to run, to see how the results are going, and to see if everything is set up as I want it to be set. If I want to extend it longer, I can always extend that once the campaign has already started. But I always set an end date, and the reason is because I don't want, and I've done this for clients, I don't want a client to run an ad and then just think that it's not running anymore, to forget about it and keep spending money. You always have to be monitoring these things. So I always set an end date, and I continually, it encourages me to just check in on the ads on a regular basis so that I can see how they're performing and adjust as I need to. So now we're just going to get into selecting a location. So in this case, I'm located in Canada. I'm actually in Toronto. So I'm just going to focus this campaign on that one area. I don't need to do very wide, and we'll just go to the max area here. This is just an example, but all this targeting stuff, you can do as you need to for your specific campaign. The other thing that I typically always change is under placements. I don't want to run it on everywhere. I like to control this with certain clients and certain business types. I don't want audience network. So I'm just going to toggle that off. We're going to stick with Facebook and Instagram. And then again, you can come down here and you can look at the different placements for each of these. And if something isn't appropriate for your business, for the type of ad you're running, just deselect it. So I was going to deselect messages. I don't want anything there. It's already deselected. We don't have to worry about that. Search results, I'm just going to take that off, because if I'm doing an ad, let's say for real estate, search results isn't really important. However, I would make sure that marketplace is, which it is right there. Okay, so let's get into the ad. All right, so now in this example, I'm not going to go into a full demo creating the entire campaign. I want to focus on those lead forms for you. So if you are looking for a demo on how to create a lead form ad for Facebook, or specifically if you want a real estate, how to create a lead form ad to drive traffic for real estate leads, I'd like you to comment below and just write lead form ad. And I will send you a link in the comments to a video that I've done with a full demo of how to create lead form ads, how to set all the settings up so that you know how to get the best results with your lead forms. Again, just comment below lead form ad in the comments and I will send that link to you. Let's get back to this demo where I'm just focusing specifically on those 3 types of lead forms that we can create here. And I want to explain that. Let's go back right now. All right, so we are at the ad set level. And as I mentioned, we're just gonna quickly skip all of this stuff so I can get down to the instant form. This is the section where I'm talking about where you create a form that looks something like this. There's 3 different examples. All you have to do, if you don't have a form created already, or if you're doing this for a new type of ad and you wanna customize things, click Create Form. A dialog box is gonna open up. First, it's going to say that you're in a certain scenario, so certain things are going to be a little bit different, and just reminding you to focus on specific information for that ad. Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about, the form type, and I want to explain the difference between all of these. So the first thing really important that you have to do before you continue anywhere else is write a name for your form. So we're just going to say form type example. More volume. Okay, so in this case, we've got 3 options here: more volume, higher intent, or rich creative. The descriptions are down here. Okay, but I'm going to point out a little bit more detail for you. So in a more volume, this is typically where I will start with for most of my clients. More volume means that it's creating this form that is going to be really simple and easy in a short amount of time for someone to get from your ad to complete the form. They're designing these so that there are fewer steps, fewer hoops that a user has to jump through. So the good about this type of more volume form is that it is intended to get you more leads. It is intended for it to be easy for someone to complete the form in a short amount of time. The downside of this is that it can create more spam for you. And the reason that can happen is because what will happen on the form is there are certain dialogues that a user can enter, such as their name, their email address, their phone number. And the form will initially auto-populate that information for the user. So if I were to see your ad, click on the ad, open it up, and it has a form with my information, it's going to auto-populate that. Now you're asking, hey, where's it getting this information from? It's based on whatever you've entered into Facebook. And a lot of times a problem comes in is that people have had Facebook accounts for many years. They may have an old email address. They may have an old phone number. So when someone completes that form, it's possible, it's not always the case, but it is possible that someone will whip through creating this form and it will cause them to not read what they're submitting. They're just click, 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 doing it really fast. So it doesn't force that user to check, hey, is this your correct name? Is this your correct phone number? Is this your correct email address? And so on and so on. So the caveat of this form type is that it may produce more spam. Typically, I like to start with this form type for my clients. It's the easiest way to get going. It's the easiest way to start building up leads. However, if they tell me, hey, we're getting a lot of spam, then I will change to a different type. Now, I'm just going to continue on here. And before we get to higher intent or rich creative, I just want to show you what the form looks like. And we're going to do a simple form here. So typically you have to have a headline. So this is the headline text. So let's just write something like, again, assuming this is for a real estate client, the headline could be 123 Forest Hill Lane. I would just write, you could write anything here. It could be the name of the property. It could be the name of your business. It could be, let's say you're doing leads for your landscaper. Make your lawn pretty, do whatever headline is going to capture someone's attention or whatever is. I always recommend you choose a headline that is consistent with the point of or the goal of your ad. So if you're promoting, real estate, make it about that real estate listing that you're promoting. If you're promoting, let's say HVAC, heating and air conditioning, have it something to do with the ad so that it is consistent when someone clicks on that. And then an opening paragraph, and this will just say, let's assume this is for a real estate listing. So we'll say beautiful home, just something simple. As an example, I'm just going to fill this in. Now, again, you could remove this greeting if you want. Just click that little remove greeting here. We're going to click next. And now we're into the part of the form that we can fill up. Now, there are advanced things you can do like conditional logic in terms of, hey, if someone says this, then they go to this question and, you can branch off. I always like to keep things as simple as possible to make it as quick and easy for someone to complete the form. The more complex your form, it's possible that it could lead to less leads because people might get confused, or they might, if they're doing this on mobile and they're in a hurry, they might get distracted and say, oh, you know what, I'm not going to do this right now. So I always like to make these forms simple and easy. You have to add a description at the top that's going to go right under here. So let's just say something simple and easy just to introduce your form. Again, you can now add questions. So you can click down here. There's multiple choice, there's short answers, there's conditional, appointment request. We are not looking to add a question at the top. So this, if you did add a question, that would appear on top of the user data. So let's just, go in and say, hey, we're going to do a multiple choice. You'll see how that shows up first. And then someone can get into it now. So question is, are you looking for a house or condo? And then the answer is house, condo. Okay, so we've got an example here. Now, this again comes up first. Someone would click continue, and then they would see the next part. So you see how it says continue? So again, this is an extra step that a user has to do before they can get to fill in stuff. So I'm just going to delete this because I don't want to have this as part of this example, but that's just to show you the types of things that you can add on the form. You could do open text, you can do conditional. The other thing that I do want to add in here though is I want more information. So you've got these certain things that you can do. So these are pre-filled, set up for you. So you could add, phone number, you could add, their first name, last name. If you wanted to do different, you could add things like this. I, again, always want to keep this as simple and easy as possible. A name, I will usually move name first, email, phone number. Simple as that. 3 questions on this form. That's it. So now this is how the form will look. We can click next. And then we have to go in to add our privacy policy link. This is required. So you need to have a privacy policy on your website. If you don't have one, should be pretty easy for you to set that up. Because you are collecting information about a user, you do need to have this set up. And I just did that a little incorrect. So it'll tell you if there's an error, like you saw that. If you type in something wrong, it'll tell you, hey, there's something wrong with this link. And then if you do, again, have certain guidelines you have to follow. I know some real estate agents have to have certain disclaimers on any forms, things like that. Financial, I've done a lot of work with financial planners, mortgage brokers, things like that. When you do have to add a custom disclaimer, you can just enter that in and include the additional text, and it'll appear in this part here. So it's almost like that disclaimer that goes with the ads. If you need that, you can include that. And then you click next. And then just, this is what a user will see once they have submitted the form. Again, you can direct them to your website after. So I've added a link, and then you could change it to view website, or in this case, view listing details. You can change whatever you want that button to read. You could add a phone number. You could include a file for someone to download if you wanted to. But in this case, we're just going to go to the website. Okay, and that's it. So that's the first lead type that we've set up. You just click on create form. And okay, so we need a description. So just a message that you have to include below the headline. This is on the final page of the form. So now we create the form, and boom, you will see that form is now available. Form type example, more volume. So I can see a preview over here. You can click continue, and you'll see that this is exactly, while you're creating your ad, you can come in here and you'll see exactly how that ad looks as you're creating it, and then they click submit. All right, now let's go into the second form type. Now, I typically will start with high volume. I have had clients that say, hey, we're getting a lot of spam. What can we do about it? So in that case, I will recreate a new ad campaign with a new form, and I'll go to the higher intent, and I'll explain what the difference is in that. Let's go back into screen sharing mode right now, and I'll do the demo. Let's create a new form, and we're going to call this one higher intent form. And then here we're going to choose higher intent. All right, now the difference here with the higher intent form type is that it's very similar to the more volume. You create a form in a very similar structure, and I'm going to whip through that in the example. The difference is that before the form can be submitted by the user, they have to swipe their finger across. They have to review things. So it's one more step, but it's causing the user to review the data that's about to be submitted. It's almost like a dialogue coming up saying, hey, are you sure? Is this information correct? So let's go back into the example and I'll show you the steps so that we can get this set up. And again, I find that this has worked really well with some of my clients, especially if they are getting spam. But even those that don't, sometimes I will do this just because we want to make sure that the user has a chance to submit that accurate data. Okay, so higher intent, we're going to click next. Again, the other option you have here is a background image. So if I wanted to, I could include a background image from my ad, which it's going to do. So I like to default to the image from the ad because I want my ad to be consistent with the form that a user's seeing. So we'll say image from the ad, but you could upload your own as well. And then here for a greeting, we're just going to, again, write. Okay, so again, similar type of thing. Everything is similar at this point. We're going to go to next. Again, pre-filled answers. We're just going to add in phone number here. Everything is very similar. I'm not going to go through all the details. I'm just going to whip through this fast. We're going to click next, add a link. So this is the privacy policy again. Click next. Now you see how at the bottom here on this example, we've got review your info, personal info, name, email, phone number. If I had entered something in here, it would show that details and then it says slide to submit. So this is that extra step that I'm talking about where a user has to review things. So the reason they call it higher intent is because it's forcing a user to go through it, to take that extra time to read and review, so it knows that this person has a higher intent to actually submit this form because they've reviewed their details. And again, you get back to this review screen and then you do your ending again. Thanks, you're all set. And create the form. And now we've got our higher intent form. And again, we can go down here. We see the image, we see the intro, get more details about this amazing home. Again, you can add more information if you wanted to. We've got our 3 information: name, phone number, name, email, phone number. You could change the order if you wanted to. And then we could click continue, and then it goes to this review screen. And again, you have to slide to submit. And once you do that, it gives you the thank you. So that again is the 3 steps for that type. Now the last form type is called rich creative. I'm going to go into that example now, and it's basically a level up from all of these. And it allows you to actually add a little bit more interactivity to the form, a little bit more customization, almost like a mini landing page per se. So let's get into that demo right now, and you can see the difference between high intent, more volume, and now rich creative. Let's go back into screen sharing mode. Okay, so the last type, let's create a form again. We're going to click continue. We're going to click on rich creative. We'll name it and click on next. Now you can see there's a lot of difference here because we've got a lot more customization that we could do. So we're going to add an image. Okay, so I've uploaded an image of a home. So now the color scheme that comes up here, you might be asking, hey, how come I can't edit this? Well, what happens is if you click over here, it says they're automatically detecting colors based on the image that you've uploaded. These can't be edited, but what they're trying to do is make a consistent look across the ad with the buttons and things like that to make it look pretty. So again, we'll add a headline. Let's just, again, assume that it's for property. We're keeping everything consistent. Tell people what sets your business apart with a couple different sentences. This is a beautiful home, an amazing area in North York. And then we could add more, including benefits. So we could say, so again, you can see how there's extra things that you can add in this type. So build your story. So you could say, do you want to tell people how something works? You can change this again, get started, more about us, how we're different, highlights. So let's do highlights as one. So you can see how automatically we're able to create a form that shows more details rather than just a picture and name and phone number, okay? Now, again, you do have limitations on the characters, the space that you can write here, but you'll see that you can keep going here. And I'm just making this stuff up on the spot, but you'll see how, you've got different highlights. Okay, so we've added three things here under our, story. So we've got highlights that we've included here. We could do, let's just see what other options there are. Products. So if we were selling something like a service, courses, programs, we could include more details there. So we don't want that one. So this is just to give you an example of the different things you can do with this rich creative. On this one, social proof, you could write reviews. So you could show, your accreditations in the news, reviews. You could, let's say this was, you want testimonials about your service. You could even use this to show different rooms of the house as an example. So you could add an image and then write, like it just has details. So similar how a carousel ad for real estate could work. This is a great way to add that. I'm just going to add 2 here as an example. So you could add different things here just as different selling points on the house. You could add more, you could add more cards in here. You could do a second one if you wanted. So again, it's just providing more details for somebody to see. If we wanted to add incentives below, and you see how these show up as different things. So overview, you can, the user, when they're looking at the form, can get down and click on all of these to see more details about the property. So yes, that heading for reviews, we can't change that, but you could, you could leave it and just, it's fine. Or you could, do it for something else. Incentives, again, you could add other information and it would show us the same way there. So this is just to show you an example of how you can add more details on that form, almost like a landing page. So we can click on next. And then again, we're here back in the same sort of information that we saw before. Name, we could do name, email, phone number. This is all the same. Nothing much is different on this. It's the same type of structure as the other forms. And then we can click next. So something here it didn't like on. So you see how you see that little, that means there's something that I didn't fill out that I was supposed to fill out. And I think it is because I had this reviews and I need to add, it wants me to have 2 cards. That's why minimum of 2. Okay, so we've entered in the little description. Everything else on the form is very similar to the other ones. We've entered in a privacy policy. Then we get to the end. And again, we can add everything as we've done before. And that's basically it. Again, you can go back and see what it's going to look like. The first part with the intro and the rich creative being that you can add more detail allows us to continue, create the form. And now you'll see that the form looks different than the other ones. It's got these tabs with the more details on it. And that's it for this video. We've covered the 3 form types on lead form ads in Facebook that are the more volume, where it's a very simple form for you to create and very simple for someone to fill out, quick and easy. Then there is the high intent form, which adds an extra step so that a user can confirm all their data. And then the rich creative, which is basically just allowing you more control over the information presented on the form, making it almost like a mini landing page so that you can add extra information to help encourage somebody that they really want your product, your service, or whatever it is that you're promoting. And again, if you're looking for full demos on how I create Facebook ad and Instagram ad campaigns for my clients. I've got several demos below where I go step by step by step, full settings of all my campaigns. If you're looking for a video ad, comment below, say video ad. If you're looking for examples for lead form ads, click below and write lead form ads. If you're looking for website traffic ads, comment below website traffic. I will be happy to share the links with you of my other YouTube videos here. You could also check out my playlists. If you liked this video, I would love it if you could click like below. And if you want to see more content from me, be sure to subscribe. And that helps you get notified the next time I create and publish a new video here on YouTube. Once again, my name is Lowell Brown from Going Social. If you need any assistance with your Facebook ads, please feel free to reach out to me. My links for LinkedIn and for other social networks are in the comments below. I would love to connect with you. And again, thanks for being part of this community, and I'll see you in the next video.